everyone, and welcome to the podcast. Yes, I am one of your hosts, Ashley, and this is my co-host. Care to introduce yourself?
I'm Tanja.
That's it. I gotta remember that this is not an interchangeable. I'm currently over here on my laptop trying to make sure we don't miss anybody's comments because we had some views on YouTube, but I couldn't tell if anyone was commenting or not because I couldn't see. And sometimes you be tripping over here.
Well, this is Daughter to Daughter live with this daughter and
This daughter.
we here for 6 weeks at 6:30 p.m. Eastern to just talk about all things daughters. All things daughter. And all things daughters is about life. Just what happens during life. Now, last week we talked about foundation and we discussed the importance of it and the different places you would put you address foundation under the house, makeup. So that was pretty interesting. So if you missed that, go back and to last week and make sure you view that. You may get something out of that. Make sure you like and subscribe so that as we continue to come forward to just bring you all things daughters, then you will get those alerts. I'm Tanja D. I'm the owner of CEO of Tanja D LLC. I have a coaching and mentor training business. And we both are the founders of our nonprofit, The Daughter's Place. And that's the passion of our heart, where we empower teens. We work with girls between the ages of 13 and 23. And we empower them to be secure, to feel secure and supported, covered, and confident. And one of the ways we do that on the inside and the outside. One of the ways we do it on the inside is we work on leadership skills. We work on identifying your true identity, knowing who you are in Christ, who you are in God, that you're a daughter of God, you're fearfully and wonderfully made, all of those wonderful things that God says about you, making sure they know what those characteristics are. And then we work on the outside by putting each girl in her own custom fitted bra. And we do that because of the partnership that we have with Livy Ray Lingerie here in Georgia, in Kennesaw, Georgia. We actually have a trip we're getting ready to make out there next month because of the collaboration with She Rocks mentoring service. We collaborated with her because she's already doing the inside part with the girls, with her group of girls, and we're going to do the outside part. So with that being said, you feel free to donate to our efforts and support us in putting those girls in bras, because the research says, and then we're going to get to our focus tonight. Research says that 85% of women wear the wrong bra size. And because of this, we as women, we have issues with our breasts. We have lumps that can form due to calcification. We have those grooves in our arm from being top heavy or wearing the wrong bra size and is digging in our arms. It can cause back pain, spinal pains. It causes many different types of issues. So we address at the Daughter's Place, we address breast health. And that's the way we do it, by making sure we start young, reducing that percentage of women, because these girls will be women one day. And even now, many of them are little boobies, them popped out, and we need to get them properly fitted so they won't face these issues in their female adult years and the years to come. So we address breast health that way by our Beauty Brains and Bras program. So, anything you want to say?
In
Did I
regards,
leave anything out?
no, not really. In regards to that, you pretty much covered everything. Just make sure we'll put it up again towards the end so that way you can scan the QR code and the QR code will take you directly to the page where you can make the necessary donations because um bras ain't cheap. So we would love to be able to purchase the young ladies really good quality, decent bras because nothing boosts your confidence and your health better than having
And your
like,
posture.
yeah, and your
Yeah.
posture better than having on a good quality bra.
And for some, that'll be the first time they've had one on, because sometimes you get what you can afford, or you get what you
Mhm.
think is cute, and when you don't know any better, you just think, okay, this is the way bras fit. But when you get that right bra, ooh, change your life. Tell them, change your life. So tonight we are discussing forgiveness. That's the buzzword this week. Forgiveness. How about that?
And I know this is generally it's an interesting topic. It's a touchy subject. Not a lot of people like talking about it because it's one of the things that we struggle with the most. Whether who is this?
And I think um, forgiveness is
That's a Georgia number.
identified or described based on where you are and who you need to forgive. And I can remember, I'm better now, but I can remember when I came. Well, yeah, you can forgive, but you don't forget. You can forget, and you wanna etch out that that whole concept of forgiveness, and you want to make it what you need it to be, so you'll be okay walking in the unforgiveness that you're walking in. So, yeah, forgiveness is an interesting topic.
Yeah. And like I was well, you probably touched on it already. I was so thrown off by A that phone number went through, and B, I didn't recognize it at all. It was a Georgia number at that. I'm like, who could this be? Anyways, um, so yeah, forgiveness is an interesting topic, and sometimes it's a touchy subject because it's something that we can struggle with the most, whether it's forgiving someone else or even forgiving yourself. Because I know I struggle with forgiving myself a whole lot more than I care to admit. But the focus we probably end up going into that later, but the focus of forgiveness that I want to talk about today is, as I put in the tagline somewhere, should I stay or should I go? All right, that kind of reminds me of, I don't know if it was a song, but I know it was on a commercial. It was like, should I stay or should I go? All right, so yes, if you want to join the discussion, place your thoughts on today's buzzword in the comment section. So,
You fast.
mother,
Yes.
I was somewhere, I was listening to someone teaching, and the topic of forgiveness came up. And something that they said I caught my attention. They were like, and I can't remember what it said verbatim, so I'm gonna give you the gist of what was said. They they spoke on the fact that a lot of people, they say they forgive somebody, but then they want nothing to do with them afterwards. And he said that that's not real forgiveness. Actual forgiveness is reconciliation. Because think about if God forgave us the same way we, forgave those people. Like, it's like, I'll forgive you, but I don't want nothing to do with you afterwards. And I remember thinking that's an interesting point, but I disagree. And only because, well, not only because, well, mostly because God is a different kind of different. He's all knowing, he's almighty, and he's all powerful. So yeah, that's something to think about. Is like, what if, God forgave us the same way as, like, okay, I forgive you, but I don't want anything to do with you anymore. it's like you can't say that that's not real forgiveness in somebody's life. You have to think about the situation and the circumstance. You know, God, he knows when people are like toxic or when they're not good. Like he knows how to handle and deal with people like that. He knows our strengths and he knows our weaknesses, and he knows that okay, you're strong enough to put up with this person or with this kind of person for a long period of time, and I placed you in their life to, I guess, love them through it, basically. Whereas he knows that in some of his other kids, he was like, you need to let that go right now, like run the opposite direction fast. So I think in those situations, it really depends on the, well, one, the relationship with the person that did the offense. It depends on the actual offense itself and the toxicity. It feels like that's not a word. I want to say toxicness, but that's probably me being Ashley. It depends on the toxicity of that relationship, also. For example, oh, you want to say something?
Mm, I was gonna say, listening to you talk through that, it it made me. I saw that forgiveness, like you said, God is a different kind of different. So forgiveness is situational. So sometimes He wants you to. Either way, you're gonna have to forgive. But
Mm-hmm.
sometimes He wants you to forgive in the area of long suffering because it's about that person and what He wants to put in that person. Like He wants that person to see His love through
Mm-hmm.
you. So you forgive and you stay there and you forgive and you allow that 70 times 7. But He gives you the grace to do it. And then God will require you to forgive because it's about you. And you've got to heal. You've got to get past the bitterness. And when I'm saying you, I'm saying Tanja, you've got to get past the anger. You, Tanja, have gotten to get past certain blockages so that He can flow freely through you and get you to the other side of that offense and get you to a place of healing. That's what I was thinking as you were talking.
Yeah, yeah. And see, reconciliation means, I decided to look up what reconciliation means since the person who said this, like forgiveness is reconciling. Okay, reconciling means to restore friendly relations between, cause to coexist in harmony, to make our show to be compatible, or to settle a disagreement. I can agree with definition. Well, in terms of, I feel like this is like very soon to be talking about this because we're still working through some forgiveness ourselves. But it's like right now in the mindset and the state that I'm in right now, I would say at least towards the people and the situations that I'm working towards forgiving, I can agree with cause to coexist in harmony or to settle a disagreement for the most part. Cause like when you see somebody and that you're upset with in any form of fashion, or you know, haven't forgiven them or whatever, you don't want to be out here in these streets showing out, smacking them on sight. Like that's not a good look. That's not representing Christ. So I feel like causing a coexist in peace means when you see them, you can be cordial. Hey, how you doing? And just keep it pushing.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I can see that. And selling a disagreement.
I think selling a disagreement can be distance forgiveness too. I believe in distance forgiveness because
Yeah.
every forgiving like I say, is situational. Every forgiving requirement doesn't equal we ace boon coon buddy yo,
Yeah.
because I've had to forgive family members that I won't have anything to do with right now. But like you said, if I went back to a um,
Family function.
family function, I can say hello. I can greet. You'd never know that I have resolved that I'm going to handle you with a long handled spoon. You'll never know that looking at the interaction. And but I can be cordial, but we're never gonna be friends. No, see that first one, restore friendly relationships. That's for those that I who want to be that have earned the the position of that's of that requirement. It would have to be a requirement that we need to be on a friendly relationship basis. Say like, okay, I have an accountability partner. I don't know if she know it, but she is my accountability partner. I have an accountability partner. And if for any reason we have a difference of opinion there's an offense there because of the importance, her importance in my life, at least in this season, then there needs to be forgiveness and there needs to be some conversation. And we need to talk that thing through to find out what happened so that we could get back to that restoration of that friendly relationship. I can see that happen. Now, that is a necessity. But certain other relationships that I have had and there's been offense, it's not going to be in that category. And I'm okay with that. And I don't think that's unforgiveness. I think that's wisdom. Because some people have been in relationships that they have been offended violently, like abusive, like these abusive relationships, and these women have gotten out by the skin of their teeth. They need to work to a place of forgiveness for their healing, but that doesn't mean they're supposed to get back into friendly relationships with this man or this woman, and vice versa. No, that's not what that's wisdom to not get back into harm's way. That's no.
Yeah, and you got to think about your peace in it. Like,
Oh
how do
yeah.
you feel? Like, how do you feel every time you're A, about to be around this person, B, are in their midst, and C, how you feel after you've left them?
Definitely.
I think that's very important also. Like, if there's like a anxiety or a peace or lack thereof, whenever you even think about them or you're in the midst, or it's like, I don't know why, but I just feel off whenever I'm around this person. That's probably the Holy Spirit letting you know that this is a relationship that you need to begin to distance yourself from. But in terms of restoring friendly relations between, I think when it comes to that, it depends on the, yeah, like I said before, the offense and the toxicity of the relationship. Like, if someone said something that offended you or that hurt your feelings, you know, if it's like a random coworker or somebody you don't even really talk to like that, you can, I mean, yeah, it affects you, but I think if you don't have to directly work with them, especially again, then you can like try and push past that, vent to Jesus, try to forgive that person and like keep it moving because you never have to see them again. But if it's like a friend or a family member or a coworker that you work with often and they said something, then settling a disagreement or restoring friendly relations between, that's that's something I think can be reconciled. Like, when you said or did this, it made me feel this way because, and have that conversation, talk it out, and see if they meant it the way they said it, or if they didn't and there was some misunderstanding there. But if they meant it the way they said it and they ain't sorry, then it's like you got to begin to think, okay, you still have to forgive them, but you got to begin to think, how do I handle them going forward? So it's like, Lord, give me wisdom on how to move forward in this situation. Like, do I act the way, do I act towards that person the same way I did before this happened? Or do I, extend that arm reach now?
Mm.
Like, do I keep them at arm's length now? I believe that's something that requires wisdom and discernment because it can be tricky.
Yeah. One of the words that's been coming up with my accountability partner and I, but recently in our discussion, we talked about the word reset. And I think listening to you just now, if a person offends me, if that's the kind of relationship, and we begin to talk out that offense and what happened, and they know they did it, and they don't, well, that's just you the problem, and they handle it like they don't care about making the adjustment to move to a place of peace. Then, like you said, I still have to forgive, but then I have to decide at that point to reset my boundaries, because now I know you don't care anything about what I say I don't like or what I say offends me. You're going to do life the way you want to do it. And that's just too bad for me if I get offended by that. Well, I need to reset my boundaries, because now I don't need to let you pass the gate. Because if you come past the gate and you get too close and you get to offending me and I know you don't care, I might have to get saved all over again.
Yeah, especially if you told them that this, I didn't like the way you handled this, or I didn't like the way that situation, or I don't like what you said to me and the way you handled me, and maybe they apologize, maybe they didn't. But the point is, if they end up doing it again, and you already told them that I don't like this, it's okay. That's kind of like what you refer to is like you obviously don't care about the way I feel, so I need to reassess my boundaries and how much access I allow you to have to me. Like I can forgive you, I can be cordial, we can coexist in peace, but we no, we'll
Yeah.
never be what we were.
I am. I used to call them, putting them on my wave list. It's like, yeah, I used to sit down and break bread and have a cup of coffee with you or something like that. But now hey, how you doing? You on my wave? And I wave and I keep it moving. I wave and I keep it moving, because now you've caused me to reset my boundaries, and now my boundaries don't require us to sit down and break bread together anymore. My boundaries, you out there a little bit, and I get to wave at you, and we still cordial, and we still look friendly. But you're not getting past that gate again. Not if not until I see a godly change.
Mm,
Now, it's not saying God can't work with you and tear you up and renew your heart, and then He can bring back a restoration to that point. But
yeah,
when I know you don't mind harming me, I know I'm resetting those boundaries. I'm not gonna let you tear my peace up like that.
exactly.
Yeah.
Now there are some people out there who, with every little offense, if it's something small that takes a simple discussion to clear up, or a minor offense, and I even feel weird saying that, a minor offense, because that's like telling people how to feel. And I get real sensitive when people tell me how to feel. I was like, don't tell me how to feel. Like if this, messed with me, then it messed with me. But there are some people out there who, with every little offense or wrong thing done to them, they'll write you off like a tax break.
Yeah.
And I believe that for some of them, that it's a defense. Well, I'm gonna just say it for some of us, because I know I have my moments when I do that. It's a defense mechanism, or our way of protecting ourselves from greater hurt and pain. Whether they've never experienced hurt or pain on a greater level, or whether we have, and we're trying not to go there again because we may or may not still be tender or slightly fragile from the previous thing. So it's like, I'm going to just take 10 steps all the way back.
And that's what I wrote down, how to forgive, because we're gonna give you some, I don't know this song, but give you a strategy, and then we're gonna go. One strategy to forgiving is you touched on it, Chase, when you said you step back. You step back in a sense where, okay, when that offense happened, you go to, you take a pause, you press pause when that offense happened. You don't respond. It's all, because sometimes we can get offended and it causes anger and we want to lash out. We want to get back. Sometimes we can get offended and we get hurt and we want to withdraw. But we want to withdraw in isolation because we want to nurse that pain, and we go into this pity party and whatever else. And sometimes we get offended and we we don't know where it's coming from or what, and we allow that negative voice to come in and just wreak havoc. So when you have been uh, uh, presented with offense, you go to God, you step back, you step back in a neutral space, because you don't want to step back in isolation because you withdrawing, because that was my thing, that was my
I'm still working
defense.
through that.
I withdraw. Yeah. But you step back and you step into God. You step into a space with God. You find worship music. You find something that's going to help subconsciously, even in, because you're doing it intentionally, but even subconsciously, put your mind on Jesus. He will give you perfect peace that keep his mind stayed on Jesus. Because when you're in offense, you ain't in peace. You want to get them back, or you want to cry, or you want to, it's something stirring up emotion on the inside. Offense will do that. So when you come into offense, you step back and you deliberately and intentionally go into that place and that space of worship and ask God, okay, what am I to do with this offense? What is this offense? Where is it coming from? Is it coming from a place of my insecurity or my uh, negative thought, or whatever is going on with me, or is it coming from a place of their pain and their God knows, only God knows, only God knows, only God knows. So ask God, where is this coming from? Show me, where's it coming from? Why am I offended? And how do I move forward from here? Because forgiveness is a process. You may have heard that before. Forgiveness is a process. So it's not like they offended me, oh, I forgive you. A lot of times they say, oh, you forgive me? Yeah, I forgive you. And you really don't, because you haven't processed through that thing yet. So when you've been offended, even if you tried to mean it in the moment, still go in, because the offense was there and you don't want to leave that as a seed. So go into that place in that space of worship and talk to your father, talk to daddy, and say, Lord, that offended me. That hurt my feelings. And I need to know how to get past this. Lead me to your word. You got that song playing. Meditate on that. If a scripture doesn't come to mind that he sent you to, listen to that music, and just, if you have a heavenly language, pray in your heavenly language, and make sure you stay in that place until you feel a sense of peace. You may not necessarily know what to do yet, but that peace is going to guide you, so that when you come into contact with that person the next time, you at that place of peace, and you're operating from calm and peace, and you can hear God better. But when you are stirred up and you angry on the inside, you're not hearing God. It's going to be very difficult to hear his voice. So that would be my strategy for uh, guiding yourself and intentionally putting yourself in a position to forgive and walk in forgiveness.
Okay, so piggybacking off of that, um, when you come before the Lord in the offense that you're feeling, you said it very nicely, like, Lord, that really offended me. Help me to how to go through this. I just want to let the people know, sometimes it'll come out that calm, sometimes it won't. Sometimes, ooh, there was a meme out and they had this sound that sounded like a girl was talking through her tears. It was sound like it was like a meme out there like that, and they had some people on TikTok saying me trying to talk to God about what I'm feeling right now. And sometimes it'll come like that. It'll be It'll be through ugly crying. It'll be through yelling. It'll sound like you mad at God, but you're really not. At least I don't think you are. I mean, if you are, still get that out too.
Yeah.
Like sometimes it's a yelling match, even though you're the only person that's yelling. Like a vent session, it could be calm and y'all just sitting there talking like, Lord, that really hurt me and I don't know how to feel right now. I want to choke somebody out. But there's like it'll come out in different ways. So don't think, cause there's a lot of people out there who's like, you got to come before the Lord a certain way. I believe that's important. But at the same time, God remembers we are but dust. God knows our weaknesses. He knows us inside and out, and He is a relational God. He is a caring Father. So He knows that you upset. He knows how you act when you upset. All He wants is your heart and your honesty. And if you in there, you obviously boiling on the inside and you're trying to sound all pious, He gonna be like, girl, and just side eye you. So it's like, just don't hesitate to be yourself when you're venting. Some there are times when I've vented to God and some curse words flew out. He didn't tell me about them until after I had calmed down, and I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. And that was about it. So I was like, I just wanted to put that out there because I know I'm like unlearning and relearning a lot of things in my faith and Christian walk. And one of the important things is coming to God as you are, the way, everything, the good, the bad, the ugly, and the beautiful. He already knows it. He already knows it. We just need to stop faking.
Yeah.
When we come to
That's why I was gonna like you said, some people will tell you, don't go before God like this, don't go before God like that. And don't let that
keep you from going to God.
Right. Don't let that old, traditional, what they think God is, don't let that kind of teaching keep you from going to God. If they say God is more and more concerned about you coming, period. It doesn't matter how you come. It's like she said, He knows it anyway. So it's to your benefit to go before Him, whatever way you feeling, angry at Him, whatever you feeling, go before Him and let Him have it. Let him have it in your anger, and then in the process, you're letting Him have it because you're getting it off of your heart. See that? You're getting it off of your heart. And then once you get it off of your heart and you leave it at His feet, then He's able to come in and cover you and partner you and comfort you and do everything else to get you past that.
Yeah, because He can't comfort you if you in there acting phony, trying to act like you got it all together and come before Him all pious and everything, and you tore up on the inside. And I think it's important to come to Him immediately, even when you all up in your He's the one person you can come to when you high strung on emotions, because He's the only one that can handle them and do something with them positively. Right. If you come at somebody else, at the person who made you upset while you high strung on emotions, it's not going to end well. So go to God immediately, even with all the curse words. Like, just do it, because if you call yourself taking a step back because you're trying to get yourself together because you want to come before God correct, that you not going to Him immediately can give the enemy a foothold to come in there and keep playing mind games and stirring up that anger and making you feel even more like I can't come to God right now because I'm still too upset. I'm still in my feelings. So it's take it from someone who's been there. It's best to just go to Him with all the snot and the tears and the curse. Even if you're just sitting there in silence, as long as you're in the presence, all you can say is Jesus.
Yeah, I've been there too, and it's easier for me to go and hear this message about forgiveness. It is so much more of a benefit to go to God, because what I've come to really appreciate, and that's why I can go to him so easily now, no matter what's going on, especially when I'm angry, is he don't hold it against me. I can go in there and say
That part.
whatever, be as honest, transparent, and as raw as I get. And he does not hold that against me. When I leave out there, he still love me. He said, okay, Tanya, you finished? All right, this is what we're gonna do. And he can, like you say, he can get me right. He can get me back on that right path of peace with him, peace with others, which is how we walk. We walk in that L, love. That's him and others. So you can go to him and
You being a Sunday school teacher
go
on a
ahead, girl.
Wednesday night.
All right, I'm done.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much all I got. I think it was there was a part of me that wanted to elaborate a little more on the, what if God forgave us in the same way part, but
Well,
yeah, I'm not the only I feel like the only thing I can really say in regards to that is me personally. This is my personal opinion. I feel as though that's bringing God down to our level because he's not like us at all. Um, while we were still sinners, Christ sent his son to die for us. He is beyond patient and beyond kind. So I don't know. There was just something about that. Hearing it makes sense, but it's like you also gotta have the wisdom to know what's okay and what's not. And God is the only one powerful and strong enough to deal with toxic people. He does it every day.
even when we're that toxic person.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right.
Besides, when Jesus was in Nazareth and he was proclaiming the year of the Lord's favor and quoting Isaiah and saying, "That's me, fam," and they were about to push him off that cliff, guess who didn't go back to Nazareth? Jesus. So let that tell you something. He know how to, okay,
Yeah.
I forgive you, but just know I ain't coming back. Not here.
There was no restoring of friendly relationships there.
No, there wasn't.
All right. So we thank you for tuning in. Hope you got something
Mhm.
that's going to bless your life and grow you in God. And don't forget our nonprofit, God Touch Your Heart, to donate over there. Feel free to scan that code or visit the Daughter's Place and click donate. It will take you to our giving platform so that we can continue our work with Beauty, Brains, and Bras, which empowers teen girls to feel secure, supported, covered, and confident. We got to get our babies confident. Yes. So be good, and we'll be back next week with our next buzzword. We love you and be encouraged.
I